Grand Rise. Wagwan. Grand Rise, Grand Rise, Grand Rise, Grand Rise. All praise due to the divine. All praise due to the divine. Love and light. Respect. Hold on. You know, we was building about love yesterday. I got a nice comment from a wonderful person. And that comment sparked more thoughts for me to think about, right? So, hope she don't mind, but you know, when we deal with certain situations, we end up taking on the residual energy of the reverse action. So if you put yourself into something, or you give your trust to something, or you give your best foot forward towards making the situation complete as far as belief, that takes a level of energy and work, right? So we feel some type of way when we take it for granted. You know what I'm saying? Like we feel like, damn, I trusted you. Damn, I believed in you. You know what I'm saying? We feel everything in the opposite energy of when it was going forward, right? So those characteristic traits is within electricity too. And they carry information. So we are harnessing that within ourselves at that moment. We're saying things, we're speaking the vibration of those words, and we're feeling the residual energy from those terms. You know what I mean? So ultimately, it starts to turn off positive fortuitive motions, because now we're saying it with a hard sincerity, right? The hard sincerity, like, I believed you. You lied to me. Taking me for granted. You know what I'm saying? You're saying these things, and they're so, the way we're saying them at the moment, they're so stamped in that time of reality in full, as far as this concept of being real, that we don't have to repeat the fact. You see what I'm saying? It's just like tatted on you right there at that moment. But in the beginning, if you think about it, when we start and shit, or we trying to connect with somebody, it's like you got to keep repeating shit. You got to show yourself, like you got to be, you know what I'm saying? You got to be, you know what I'm saying? You got to be the person that, you know what I'm saying, somebody wants to be attracted to, for some instances, depending on the circumstance, right? You got to be that energy. So even if you super sincere, like we don't walk around yelling it like, oh, I fucking want you. You're sexy. Baby, you're beautiful. I want it. Like, we don't talk to people like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking love you. Like, it's not as sincere when you're initializing hooking up with somebody, opposed to, it's not as sincere as it is when you will be ending a relationship because of the pain that you currently feel, even though the love you feel in the beginning is equal energy, like it's strong. Hold on. Damn. Helicopter was mad loud, yo. But you don't, like, it's the same energy of belief and creation is not in both. So when it's over, it's over. Like, you can feel that energy, and it might not be particularly completely over, but you feel it so hard, like, damn, yo, boom. And then in the opposite way, you feel good, but then you still be unsure about certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, how far are you gonna go? What you gonna do? What does it mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, all these different things. And females, they be a little more on top of it. They be like, I got it, da 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 da. They be like super confident. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's also a failed check too, because it's like, when you in that belief so much, soon as something happened, like in the first few days, you're like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? Like it hit and it felt like you're pouring all the water out. Like, oh shit, the fuck is wrong? Like I thought. We always think and perceive. The reason why I'm saying these things like this is because we're not mindful of what those energies create. We live in a universe of every action has a reaction, where we believe fire is an element, when in fact it's not fire, it's the heat that comes from friction. Like you can get water out of the air, you know what I'm saying, with a different friction process. You see how water is an element, you can get water from the air with a different friction process. You can get air from fire. The motion of fire burning going up pushes air. That friction between the fire and that space where it's moving creates hot air. Earth is the remnants of things breaking down. So the friction in between life and death creates earth. So it's an element, you know what I'm saying? It's an element of the process. And this is where we lose sight of as far as understanding what certain things are. So there's other elements that exist that we just don't have labels for. It can probably be written down, and we probably can break it down to the finest understanding and put it in a book or give it its title and its term by its action. But when things happen on a positive energy, your chakras start to come together and they create a level of belief of how you feel for something. So that's an element. When the energies start to clash or come together and they create something new, that thing that's created at that moment, that thought, that belief of how you feel about a circumstance becomes an element. Because now it's an element in the access or the success or the detriment of that process. You see what I'm saying? Like it comes with the combination of those two energies coming together. And when they come together, you create the feeling or the existence of what you choose to bring forth in life with the individual, whether that's going forward or going backwards. And this shit get ill, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't allow the negative things that happen to close your heart off, because that's a particular thing that will take place. When the negative things happen, it creates the motion or the element of a closed heart. And then the element of a closed heart has residual energy that comes off it. It has a way of being. So that's what the new way becomes, or the new feeling for that circumstance is now created in that aspect of truth for that individual. Thus, the reason why we go into hermit mode, the reason why we stay to ourselves, the reason why we get a nasty taste in our mouth for certain things. Like just all the things that have relevance to the action. Like my battery about to die because I'm vibrating. Give me a few minutes. I'll be right back with